extra, read all about it. Super Soldier Activation Conference in Orlando, Florida on October the 8th through the 12th this year. supersoldiercon.com, kind of like Dragon Con. This is a chance for people to meet all the super soldiers and ask them any question that you want to. Last year, everybody was mingling together, and it was a great experience, and I highly recommend it if you live near there or anywhere. James Rink, supersoldiercon.com. Hey, everybody. It's me, the snarky one, Linda Paris, a.k.a. Linda Paris, a.k.a. Deplorable McAllister. It's been a long road, hasn't it? But I think this train is rolling into the station, the Trump train. The Trump train, choo-choo. So I think it's rolling into the station. I don't know if any of you watched Charlie Kirk's event yesterday, but it was massive. And you can see where what they did has blown up in their faces. I said it in my last video. I said, oh, they done pissed off the Christians now. Well, one thing that surprised me was President Trump has been giving us sort of voter information all along the way these past 8 years, going on 8 years. And it has come to my attention that the Christians aren't coming out and voting. Well, I think that fact has changed. And you saw how many of them were if you watched Charlie's, they're calling it a funeral. I guess I would call it a, almost like a revival. It was a religious revival. And I'll tell you, I mean, I'm not a churchy person. You guys know that. I'm agnostic. And what that means is that I believe in a higher power, but I'm waiting for more data. I believe the Bible has been tampered with. And I'll just be direct and honest about that. And I believe there's 777 books, so that makes it even more difficult to find, for people like me. You know what? My grandmother was a Christian. She read the Bible every night. The bottom line is, if I had to be stuck in a country full of libtards or a country full of Christians, even though I'm not technically a Christian, I do believe in a higher power, but I'm spiritual. Somebody said to me the other day, one of my friends said, I'm spiritual as hell. I'm just not dedicated to man-made religion. And so, but a lot of people are. My grandmother was, and I'd hell of a lot more rather be stuck in a country full of Christians than I would in a country full of these maniacs. They're not human. And to what extent it involves, I think you can kind of look at the behavior of some of these people and see which ones probably don't have souls. How that happens, I think there's a lot of different ways. One way is through nanites and all kinds of, I guess you call it biotech or whatever, technology that they use and insert in people in various ways, whether it's through food or medicine or even chips and other things, black goo. What we're seeing is good versus evil. And it's being broken down into terms. You could conceivably say that these people are have demons in them, demonic energy. And so that does relate to the Bible. So in order to get out of this, we need high vibrations. Well, we're not going to get them from the libtard faction, okay? And even people who are spiritual like me and not necessarily religious, look, I'll fight to my death for anybody to be free to worship whoever they want to worship, except they cannot do what these people are doing. They cannot cannibalize people. They cannot kill people. They cannot abduct children. They cannot do the things that they're doing to children. I mean, this is not a religion. It's a cult. And so we on this planet, gentle human beings, look, a lot of the people that follow me are Christians. They allow for my version of worship, and they respect that I'm holding off until all the real information comes in. Look, my grandmother was a Christian. She was the best person I ever knew. She knew about, we had conversations, but she would just shake her head. She'd have like kind of this funny little smirk on her face. And she'd go, I just know one day you're going to become a good little Christian. So she tolerated all of my beliefs. She didn't really yell at me or anything like that or condemn me to hell. She was just a beautiful person. I disagreed with her on that. So what they've done is they've drawn these Christians out of their homes who were not voting. And you could see them at that, and this was all over the world, by the way. So they really did it. That was the nail that that was needed to close up their coffin. They don't know what to say now because they're demonic. They don't have any filters. Spiritual people and Christians and people who are good can all get along together. These things just hate, and they are consumed with it. Do I believe some of them are savable? Well, check this out.
Sad news, Charlie KIRK has passed away, and I can say I am no longer a Democrat at all. The moment where you can't have a simple debate, right? Or you can't go on a college campus without getting shot, it's crazy. Then I go to the comments, and these people are saying, well, great job, be on to the next type of deal. But this is the same people that want us to respect them because we don't agree all the way on gay marriage or any of the economics. So you want this guy to be killed, and that's okay with you? But yet you want to be the party of, let's all come together, let's be peaceful. You guys are not peaceful people at all. You are not peaceful people. You actually wanted this guy to die. You incited these people to do this. This is ridiculous. The moment where we can't have a clear debate, game on the table. This is crazy. I'm no longer a Democrat, will ever support any Democratic nominees. I just don't want to be a part of that party anymore.
So yes, I do believe that good people can see the light and be changed, but it's not going to happen, lickety-split, okay? So that's what I'm here to say. Those of us who are together on this, many of you are Christians and still hold Christian beliefs. Maybe you've modified your Christian beliefs. Maybe you're like me now and you're waiting to find out the truth. So, and to see where those gaps have been. They've tampered with things. So I want to know what the real deal is. I want to read the real Bible. I don't want to read King James's version. And so there are many of us like that. We want to know the whole story. We want to know all about our galactic heritage. So with all of that being said, I'm going to show you the video that I made right before. So after I finish this little opening segment that I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and show you the video. So you're going to see two intros. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the video that I'm going to put that on the end. The video that I did right before I finished it, right before Charlie got shot. I was not going to air this video, which had a lot of jokes in it and stuff, and no mention of Charlie. I wasn't going to upload that video knowing what had happened. So I made that other video. So now I've got this other video, which does address some of the things that are happening. So I'm going to add that on the end of this. And I want to talk about a couple of things like this thing right here. He lied, okay? I can't remember whether I talked about this in that other video, but he's a liar. He's a propagandist. This isn't freedom of speech. You don't get to get up there working for a private company, a company that's owned, use taxpayer dollars so that you can have your broadcast license for free and lie about the very public that is paying the taxes that keep you up and running. You don't get to do that. You don't get to call us Nazis. We're not Nazis. You are a liar. And you don't get to get up and lie about us. Okay, my pineal gland is vibrating too high. Hold on. Let me calm down here. This guy infuriates me. I can't let that happen. That's another thing I want to talk about, and I'll talk more about it on my Happy Human because I have all my stuff lined up for Happy Human. I'm going to talk more about fasting and about even just getting ready to fast is basically what we're all doing. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm talking about is how you prepare yourself for a fast, which is skipping breakfast and all of that. But there are other things involved here, and there is the mind-body connect. So I can feel my pineal gland vibrating and my ears are ringing a little bit talking about this creep of all time. He just looks like a creep. He looks like he smells. He just is so disgusting to me. And he gets up there and he lies. And he acts like that's okay. No, you don't get to slander us. You don't get to call us Nazis. First of all, if we were Nazis, he'd be in a shed somewhere, hanging upside down. We'd be making shoes and boots and pocketbooks out of him. Nazis. Come on. A bigger lie has never been told. So, no, you don't get to get up there and lie. So I hope he's thrown off for good. I hope all of them are thrown off for good, the ones that are lying. CNN, you're liars. So that's why nobody's watching you, because we see your lies. MSNBC, you're liars. You're propagandists. My ears are ringing again. Hear that? I'm doing a lot of that lately. Okay. See, I had to reset myself. Why? Because he doesn't matter. Okay? What difference is he making right now? None. More people, well, actually it is making a difference. More people are leaving the party because of him. Okay? So, no, he doesn't have a big crowd of people. They have to pay those people to protest his show. He's ugly. Do you notice how ugly they all are? They are really an unattractive bunch of people. And if they weren't born unattractive, they've made themselves unattractive because they're so full of hate and victimhood. So let them go on their way before my ears start ringing again and my pineal gland starts vibrating very loudly in my head. Stop. Stop. Stop doing that. That's what I say to Max. I go, stop. Stop jumping. Stop biting me. He's teething. And it's hard to keep him from biting on me. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give this a try. Yeah, this guy needs to go. And this guy's real good, A Righteous Perspective. I like his broadcasts. And Hamas is issuing an urgent plea in a personal letter to Trump. This is how my YouTube looks on this outdated computer. It's kind of working for me now. There has been a huge universal shift. Get ready for the biggest revelation of your life. So supposedly that's going to happen this week, according to pretty much all of these transmissions. They're all kind of coming from different species and star systems, but they're all kind of working, you can see where they are in sync. And this spaceship that's coming is they're saying they don't know what it is and all this stuff, and they're like, oh, it had lights and all this stuff. Well, about a month ago, I don't know, it's been weeks, where I saw a Palladian download that said that it's not a comet, it's not a rogue planet, it's not any of these things they're speculating. It's a Palladian ship. And it's got upgrades to our DNA. So all of you who are awake and who are traveling with those of us creators who are looking into the ascension techniques and the skies, look to the skies and the stars. They are creating portals and they're downloading upgrades to us. And those of us who are awake are getting upgraded DNA, crystalline DNA. This process is draining. That's one of the reasons I've been kind of having to take naps and stuff, because I'm asking for the upgrades. And the universe has a great deal of respect for free will. So in your meditations and in your reflections and in your internal dialogues and stuff, you need to make sure, or it will be greatly beneficial to you if you made sure that your intentions are clear. You want the upgrades. Yes, they're going to knock you on your ass. But then it's your job to sleep. So a lot of times during all of my puppy training and house cleaning and video making and testing out recipes and stuff like that, I have to stop and rest, because that's when the upgrades work. It's the same way with fasting. When you fast, when you sleep, your body's healing. Actually, I shouldn't even say fasting. That's the way it works. When you're sleeping, your body is healing, period. No matter whether you're fasting or what. Your body's trying to heal itself during your nighttime fast, if you will. Break, fast, breakfast. So you're fasting already for 8 hours or whenever you're sleeping. You know, assuming you're not getting up and eating in the middle of the night, but that would be a habit that you should break. Which is difficult because your stomach contracts. But once you go a certain amount of time without eating, you don't feel that anymore. It just goes away, the stomach contractions, and you go longer periods without eating. Anyway, I'm digressing. There's going to be a shift. Something's happening this week. I say this because in reading these downloads, that I was told last week that there was going to be a big event. Well, there's a lot of events that we don't see, so I didn't know if this was going to be one we were going to see or what. Well, there was a big event last week, a big event. So now I'm sharing the information. There has been a huge universal shift, which happened with the shooting. Get ready for the biggest revelation of your life. So now we're going to get into shocking, the shock part. So I just wanted to warn you guys, it's supposed to be this week, according to these downloads. Well, last week they were also saying there was going to be an event, a shift, which happened, and it was big, bigger than we know. And if you haven't watched the funeral, you should watch it. They're calling it a funeral. It seems more like a celebration of Charlie and a commitment to carry on. And look, he had X amount of people watching him, which was a lot. Many of them were in the shadows. They're not in the shadows anymore. So if he had a lot of people watching him before, there are huge crowds listening to all of everything he did, all those conversations. They've all been recorded. They are all in existence for people to now watch again and again and again. So the movement, and plus now, I heard last count, it was like 68,000 people wanting to be part of it. So everything he wanted to do has happened in a heartbeat because of this universal shift. That he himself, Turning Point, the name Turning Point never had more relevance than it has right now. So now we're ready for the information. Mainly because we've seen, through Charlie, we've seen the evil. Of course, you guys know what I think. I believe he was rescued. And when you see what they wanted to assassinate, in other words, they tried to kill him off, thinking they could kill off this religious revival. And look what they did. They basically activated, I've never seen anything like that. Well, it was more like a revival, and keeping Charlie alive and multiplying it by millions, maybe even. This was happening all over the world. So just as I said, they're in diminishing return mode. Every single thing they do is going to blow up in their face because nothing's working in their favor anymore. They're just too egotistical to face it. Nothing that they're doing is working anymore. They have a one-track mind. They cannot stop. That's the thing. They cannot stop. And so you see them. Where's his greasy face? Oh, there it is. Ew. Ew. He's so disgusting. He's so disgusting looking. I want to bathe after looking at him. I got to get this off my. So now I'm going to leave you with the video that I did right before Charlie was shot. I'm going to go back to work on my Happy Human. I'm sorry for the slowness, but I am slowing down and trying to do a more thorough job. And then I do have to take my rest, and I suggest you guys take yours. If you feel sleepy and you can go somewhere and lay down for a little bit, please do it, because that's when your body is going to integrate all the updates. You're getting them. The whole world is getting them. But I think those of us who are asking for them and going out in the sun and meditating and opening up our crown chakra, that's another thing. I saw a video that said, your crowns are waiting for you. And it had a universe with these golden crowns just sort of suspended. They were like royalty crowns. They were gold, and they were all suspended, waiting for us. Our crowns are waiting for us. Well, I think they're talking about the crown chakra, but from what I understood, the more you can open it, the more there is a glow. And the more people respond to you favorably with your crown chakra open. So when I go out in the sun, I imagine my crown chakra opening like a lotus flower. That's how I envision it. And taking in the sun. Anything the sun wants to pour into me. I think they call that prana. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but life force into me. And it goes in through my crown chakra, and it goes into my heart, because my heart has been extremely damaged. I realize this. From childhood up, my heart has been continually attacked in various ways that I just, we push these memories and things aside, but it's not to blame or anything. It's just to recognize where the damage is. So I do extend the prana or the energy down into my legs and my feet, which I have problems with my feet because of accidents and things. So, I'm a mess, basically. So I'm just asking for the whole healing package. But it goes through your heart, and it ignites your heart. And if you stand there, and if it helps to put your hand on your heart, but I like hearing it in my ears through my pineal gland. I like hearing it in my head, feeling it pulsating. So I suggest you do that. You are getting upgrades. You will get upgrades. And if you can nap, then you can assimilate the upgrades quicker into your body is assimilating. They're crystalline upgrades. This has never been done before, by the way. So we will be the first to do this. And we will be creating a new template, a crystalline template for the future. It's extremely important work. And I totally believe that this is what is happening. It's been manifesting in me. And also, you know, I got to sleep. It's overwhelming. So I know I only have a certain amount of energy in one pass before I have to take a nap. So I'm trying to regulate that and incorporate it into my life. So I hope you guys do the same. And now here is the video that I did, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hi everyone, we're here today to show you how to get some zest in your step with one of our amazing products. This product helps your energy levels, your focus, it curbs your cravings, and definitely improves your mood. It contains green tea extract, which it gives you energy all day long, niacin that turns food into energy, chromium, and that helps curb your cravings, alpha GPC and PEA. Those are both nootropic, which means they work on the brain, and they help both your memory and your mood, and then L-theanine, which is very calming to the brain. So if you would like to grab some zest for yourself, look at Linda's link below. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye.
Look at this. They're right next to each other. And it showed her walking down the street with a stupid mask on, walking down an empty hall with no people with a stupid mask on. And then when she gets to her destination, she sits in front of an actual person, and neither one of them are wearing a mask. What a hoax. Okay, what's wrong with this picture?
So tell me, what did you see that day?
Where's the mask?
As I usually do, just...
She's out on the streets in the fresh freaking air. Nobody's around her. There's a 6-foot barrier of sidewalk separating her from anyone. Look at that. She's walking down the hall. Nobody's there.
So tell me, what did you see that day?
She's sitting across from someone, and now there's no mask. What do people? This is what people. What the hell? Well, hello everyone. How are you? Hope everybody's doing good. It's me, the snarky McAllister, the snarky one. So I want to thank everyone that supports my work and my channel. I hope you like and subscribe, because I am going to monetize on BitChute and eventually YouTube as well. And yeah, spying on POTUS is treason. So these people have committed so many acts of treason, just flat out treason. Spying is just one thing that they've done that constitutes treason. It used to drive me crazy, because like having that skiff and prosecuting the president, and he doesn't even get to be in there to defend himself. It's absolutely outrageous that they have gotten away with so many things, but I see now where it's going to come in handy. Although, again, I go back to the smorgasbord reference, the country buffet. Better to hold off, you know. You don't need to eat everything at the buffet. So, yeah, spying is treason. Everything they're doing is treason. That's why I drew another kill box. I love the kill box. It was so strategically planned. But it's not, and it's not even, you know how they conquered, I guess you could say, our minds with just words? This kill box thing, it's coming on them fast and hard and from multiple different directions. Multiple bombs coming from every direction. And I can't even draw the straight on one. But don't forget about that one. It's like one of those things. It's like one of these. only they're coming from the top and the bottom. And only each one of these spikes is another scandal. So it's they don't have all of their mental faculties. They're actually living in another reality. And the people who are so convinced that they are the truth tellers, well, they're addicted to hate too. And when you think about it, they're addicted to hate. They're actually addicted to their own adrenochrome. Think about that. They're producing adrenochrome inside their own bodies with hate. And they are steeped in it. God, they are so lost. Anyway, that's not part of my story. My story is how these things are coming at them. And I just wrote down a few. But what I see happening here, let me move this out of the way. More and more, faster and faster until they're completely crushed. I mean, I'm going to read off some stuff. 9/11, JFK, it rhymes with Max, that thing. That's big. Those things alone are just huge. But let's keep going. Columbine, Epstein, Clinton Foundation, school shootings, religion, cures, water poisoning, human trafficking, pedophilia, food poisoning, the medical profession, weather control, every assassination that has ever happened, cannibalism, Antarctica, underground facilities and cities, cities under cities, fake dossier, Crossfire Hurricane, Titanic, Hindenburg, Inner Earth, Pyramids, Stonehenge, World War II, Vietnam War, rock and roll. The whole rock and roll thing was a psyop. So election fraud, ETs, hidden truths. So it goes on and on and on. It's a never ending. Once it starts, it will never end for them. They will never get back up. So one of the reasons I'm supposed to be working on my happy human now, I know, but there's so much happening. These bombs are truth bombs, and they're going to drown in them. I don't think they're going to, the way they're acting now, this is why Jimmy Kimmel is crying. God, I always think about it like, what comedian ever gets up there and cries like a stupid little girl? God, so disgusting. They're all so disgusting. And they don't know how to act any other way. The thing of it is, they've never actually campaigned. They've been installed. So now that they actually have to dance for their dinner, they don't know what to do. Speaking of dancing.
Joe Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. 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 Party with Beyonce. 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 Dance party with 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 Beyonce. Beyonce. Beyonce.
This is what these ridiculous we love Antifa, we love MS-13, we love criminals, we want them to stay. They just can't come up with anything that sticks. They're doing this all over the world right here. You think they're doing this all over the world? Absolutely not. And here's some other things that they were doing all over the world. The second video in, I think it was Staten Island, somewhere in New York. they can't stand it. He's pop culture. They're not. And they can put Beyonce and all the other used up, nasty Lady Gaga, and all of these creepy people up there now, and all they do is look demonic and anti-American. And they don't get better over time. Some people turn it around. But anyway, this is what they want. They're so jealous of it. This happened this week. Do you think anybody's going to make it anything? Well, he doesn't. I've never seen him dance. He's not pop culture. And even when he was on CNA, I know gay men who talk about him and his face not looking real, looking like plastic and stuff. So I don't even know what this is. I can't even tell you. But this guy really showed him the door, really called him out. Don Lemon's walking around acting like he's making some kind of point. The guy hates you, okay? There are no points to be made here. But he doesn't have the savvy to recognize that he's not going to win this. Oh, gang leaders warn Trump, don't send troops to Chicago. Oh, okay, somebody call the White House. Let's call the whole thing off. Well, you better get out your pacifiers and your little bibs and everything, because you're going to need them. Honey, don't send troops to Chicago. Oh, okay, whatever you say. Why don't you close your eyes and spin around 3 times, and maybe that'll happen. Is it? They don't. Well, I guess they would. If they were smart, they wouldn't be gang members. That's another thing. I'm a fan of the thumbnails, right? It's basically a graphic, which, I've certainly made my fair share of those, but there is an art to it, and this one just, I had to get this one. Brandon Johnson and Chicago gangs. That's what he's coming off as. Like he's protecting the gangs, like he's one of them. But there's something very strange about this guy, right? He comes off as half there, half not. Do you ever get that feeling? There's not a lot of passion there, even when he's trying to be passionate. It comes off more like fear. But even that is stilted, It's not a full emotion. I don't think I don't know, the word clone comes to mind. Now, this guy is a lawyer. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but I follow him. And I like listening to the legalities of what they're doing, because what's happened is they've gotten in there and they've snuck in. They've got their minions, their compromised minions, and they've snuck in. And they have actually trying to compromise our Constitution without us realizing it. And really, a lot of this stuff, you just have to shake your head that there are judges that have never even been had any kind of legal education whatsoever, and they're foreign born. We should never have. Look, if somebody's born in another country, there has to be a certain precedent before you can become a judge, I mean, this is just outrageous that they're just handing out, and they're handing them out to people who are not even citizens. So, yeah, don't get me started. But this Trump was an FBI informant, question mark. This is going around. I believe it totally 100%. That's my opinion. But this brings me to a second thing. We love illegals, we love crime, we love rape, la 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 la. We hate ICE so much, la la la, won't you sing our song for us? We're cool. Look at our Spanish clothes, look at how liberal we are. God, how could I make it any stupider than it already is? I don't think I can. That's what gives me courage. We love illegals. Dissent is patriotic. Somebody, Where is the fire hoses? Honestly. Like I said, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but somebody needs to get these people out of our way, okay? We're trying to make America great again. Anyway, I got that white girl. Well, what happened? What happened? Because of his criminal record, they're like, uh-oh, remember Lucy and Ethel? That's what Lucy used to do whenever she made him They made a mistake. Uh-oh. We had 12 previous arrests, and this one judge kept letting him back out on the streets, and he's illegal. And I even forgot what she said. This is a fat lady. Did they hire her back at CNN? This thing is made out of the same stuff that Don Lemon is made out of. It's plastic. They wipe it off with a cloth, and stick it in the closet before they all go home. I think it's got a little feeding tube or something in there. I don't know. It's not under, it's well nourished. What? Anyway, just the most obnoxious, self-important, blowhard, windbag blimp. And it looks just like a woman. And it doesn't look real. It looks plastic. God. Anyway, back to... so this is what I mean by liking thumbnails. His movements are frightening. I don't know if I even follow this person, but he appeared before reporters with strange body movements. He is so strange. They have this segment on Gutfeld called Gavin's Hands. And the guy sings it with like a English accent. They're always making fun of his hands on Gutfeld, but everybody makes fun of his hands because he does such creepy things with his hands. I would say he's signaling someone, but I just think he's too vacuous for that. I think it's more of some kind of, weird mechanical failure on his part. Because this guy's got a lot of nanites and stuff. Gavin's hands. These people are so unattractive. You look tired, honey. Maybe you should stop spreading propaganda and lies. Maybe it's taking its toll out on you, huh? Anyway, Tom Homan put her in her place, and she tried to... They think they're going to cut them off before they get to make their points. They won't let them respond. They're just the worst. And if anybody can't look at these people, these two liars, professional liars, that's what they are. I'm talking about her and, Gumby, her husband, Gumby, with the big Gumby head. Oh, yeah, and by the way, does anybody remember? It always reminds me of that time that Gumby had the dead intern in his office. What's his name again? I don't even remember his name. Joe Scarborough, that's his name. How soon do you think it's going to take the public to forget about these people that were, and focus on the ones that really are? Because the next 150 years, we're going to be watching and seeing the worst stuff ever that these people have done while they're out there lecturing. And this lying, clearly more than half of the population doesn't believe a word that comes out of their mouths. Yet they keep doing it. Why? I think they're holding on to their, it's like they're in another alternative universe, and they're keeping these people in there with them. And as long as there's 3 people to listen to these clowns, they're going to keep lying, because that's all they know how to do. They've never had to campaign. They've never had to be themselves. There is no themselves. There's just this empty vessel that's filled with talking points. I mean that in a funny way. But nobody messes with this guy. Nobody messes with Mr. Homan. He puts them right in their place. So you're out of your league, witch. Besides, anyway, you're sitting there looking like that, acting like you have any kind of judgment whatsoever, and your dad looks like he came out right out of a spaceship. What's wrong with your father? He looks like an alien species. Yeah, I have one thing to say to him. Is it starting to look like the gender that it probably was born as yet? Because I guess when they're little, you can pass them off as little girls, but as they get older, the boy comes out. I never thought this was a little girl. I always, well, okay, it's my opinion this was born a boy. And they are Illuminati conversions. They are not trans. They are hermaphrodites. They are conversions into hermaphrodites. Both. They want to be both, like their beloved Baphomet. Their creepy goat god with the tits, with the hairy tits, and the, I think it has a penis and everything. It's got everything. Everything anybody could want if you're a freak of nature. Anyway, caught in a fraud. The ugly truth. See, I wasn't even interested in this story. I have no idea what it's about. Apparently, well, they're saying it's a fraud, so maybe her boat didn't blow up. His boat. It's not a kid now anymore, is it? How old is this thing? Anyway, maybe they're saying his boat didn't blow up, and that he's a liar. Maybe that's what's happening here. Greta Thunberg caught in a fraud that could end her activism. What activism career? You have ruined my middle age and stolen my retirement years. How dare you? Now, this guy who is, he's so good. I wished I'd have gotten his, it's a really good name too, like, I don't know. It's a name that brings us all together. Anyway, he does good shorts, and then he also does videos. But he says, I got my popcorn ready for the show. #Chicago. Me too. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what Homan does in Chicago, because they should bring it down hard. Because this is a prototype. And so if this works, they're going to, but they're dealing with gang members here. And these people have threatened. First thing they should do is go in there and immediately arrest these gang members that were on TikTok saying not to come, or they were going to, talking about the guns they had and all that stuff. They need to scoop these guys up quick. And these people, you just got to really wonder, huh? Yeah, I got my popcorn out too. Waiting for the show. #Chicago. Okay, well, I'll leave you with this.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which, the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
Well, I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Mm. Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Mm. We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.